And then, of course, the finish came. Becky Lynch had her in the disarm her.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like the crowd was going absolutely nuts. Becky was the heavy favourite in this.
People were loving it. I mean, we were screaming at the telly. Yeah. I
was. and then Charlotte comes in with a natural selection, pins Becky, picks up the 1, 2, 3.
Like, no.
What I liked about this straight away was Charlotte's selling of the, I've cost my friend a championship, but I've also won a championship.
I've won it. I'm back.
So that was really good from Charlotte. And then the best part of the match was good itself, but the best part, which people kind of wanted to happen, was they were embracing in the ring, giving it a hug, giving it some tea time, whatever the hell that means. And then Becky Lynch turns on Charlotte.
Yeah, she turned.
Just batters her.
Yeah, batters her. It's a snap. I'm calling them a snap. I'm literally calling that type of thing is a snap. It's like, it's breathed another bit of a story. It's moving it on a bit. Carmella's out the picture now. Let's get her out of the way. She's had enough. Now this is about. It's about Becky chasing. This is a lot more interesting. The chase is more interesting now.
And we had some thoughts that people were saying that Becky Lynch was not going to turn heel. She was going to stay face because the crowd reaction was so good, was so positive when she attacked Charlotte. And I heard people say maybe Charlotte on SmackDown would show up and say. You guys were turned on me even though Becky Lynch attacked me.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
Which would leave Becky as the face. But no, on SmackDown they came out and Becky Lynch got 100% heel promo saying, where have you guys been?
Yeah, where have you been? Yeah.
I said to you as we were watching it, it feels a little bit lazy writing because in terms of the crowd have been behind Becky Lynch for a long time.
Yeah.
And it does feel a little bit like they're going, right, we really want Becky as the heel here. We really want Charlotte as the face. I don't know why they've decided to do this, but for me, I'm still happy with it because it brings an edge to Becky's character.
Yeah. I think a lot of it as well, from, if you want to look at it from the writing point of view, is that Charlotte's been a baddie for so long. They like the fact that she's, she's the good guy, she's the queen, me, like
she's become very marketable.
The American girl, and that's the thing. Yeah, definitely. And now, trying to use Becky and make her that more gritty. And she is really gritty. She's different. Problem is everybody wants to give Becky the chance.
Yeah.
Hashtag give Becky a try.
Yeah, give Becky a chance. And we also learned on SmackDown that Carmella will have a rematch against Charlotte next week on SmackDown. So she will lose very quickly.
She will lose very quickly, or is that another opening?
Maybe.
Is that something else? Is Asuka going to pop out and be like, I'll have a go?
Yeah.
You just don't know.
And there was a little bit on SmackDown, just before we move on here, which I thought was so good, when R-Truth popped out, and he was still going on about the fact he needs to pin Carmella to get a title shot.
I do love it.
I loved that. I thought it was so funny.
Paige, put her down.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a good little segment.
Yeah.
So that was that. Very good match. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Next on the card was the match I was looking forward to the most, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. This went into, for me, they needed another week of using the family storyline for Styles, because he's known as a family man and a flat earther, but he's known as a family man above most things, and Joe's gone with he's too busy, you want him to lose the title because he's never home and this and that. Yeah. Firstly, the match I thought was really good. It was really good. Another slow burner, and it really went to the boil.
Yeah.
At about the 10-minute mark, and they were busting out some serious TNA style moves.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe with a Pele kick to Styles, and he fell onto the outside. I thought he was dead.
Yeah,
it was pretty.
It was quite a nostalgic match, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah,
especially yourself. You were very much like, "Oh, this is just." I'm like, "What, love?"
I couldn't get it out.
Yeah, couldn't get it out, and it was another snap.
Yeah. Yeah, as you alluded to, that's that word of the night.
This is my word tonight. I'm making new vocabulary.
Yeah, and then just like it was. Like nothing, Joe got onto after this the ridiculous match where Joe had just thrown Styles into the steps and he just bust him open. There was a really good moment where Joe got on the announce table and said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing here, of saying to Mrs. Styles and his daughter who was at ringside, I said Daddy would be coming home, but it looks like I was lying because he's not coming home. I'll be your new daddy, which got a really good reaction.
Good reaction.
And then there's a brilliant who's your daddy chant. Got a brilliant a brilliant camera shot of Styles' hair flicking up, and you get that look in his eyes of you what?
You what?
He attacks Joe, breaks through the barricade, hits him with a steel chair. That's a DQ, and I'm happy with the DQ finish because I want the feud to go on.
Yeah.
Styles then goes to grab his daughter, who's not interested.
Yeah.
Because he's covered in blood, so probably understand.
She's a bit frightened her a little bit, I think, in in that. But what I liked about that as well is the fact that we saw a different side to AJ, because he is the family man. He never snaps. He keeps cool under pressure. All the Shinsuke stuff, like, he didn't snap really there. There was a lot of, obviously, DQ issues there.
Peen shotters.
Yeah, that one's. However, this is the first time you really see him lose his rag.
And I think it works because him and Joe have got such a personal connection in real life. They've known each other so long that it works perfectly. The storyline is good. And it was also developed on SmackDown in an interview with Renee Young, who I believe should be on lead commentary, but for some reason isn't. Styles was again talking about the same thing of if he wants to come after him again, that's not a problem. And then Joe attacks him, locks in the Coquina clutch, and Styles passes out. Well, this really annoying kid the whole time is shouting, Joe, Samoa, can I have a picture? As if he's going to stop and give him a picture live on TV.
He's trying to be a baddie.
That did annoy me. But yeah, it was good to see the storyline progressing, and hopefully a Hell in the Cell match.
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay, so the next bit was the worst bit in the whole show for me. I thought Elias versus Bobby Lashley was a made match. It was not. For some reason, Elias comes out, his guitar snaps.
I think he just needs to calm it down on the protein.
Yeah, and
it just made no sense. It was kind of like, okay, that happened. Where's Bobby?
Yeah, I was expecting Bobby Lashley to come out.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And then on Raw on Monday rather, Curtis Hawkins came out and said, it wasn't me that snapped the guitar, but I want a match. And then Elias beat him in a few minutes. So we don't know. I'm guessing we will find out it was Bobby Lashley in the next few weeks.
I feel a bit sorry for Elias. I think he's worth a lot more than this.
Yeah.
I actually like the character. I like the crack. He's actually a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
I like him.
And he can play the hell out of the guitar.
Yeah, he can just don't sing.
Can't sing.
And I'd like to walk with Elias through a good storyline.
Yes, we all. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Next on the card is... we're trying to get through this as quick as possible because we have got quite a lot to get through. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. And we are kind of biased as we talk about the storyline because we watched a lot of Miz and Misses in the last couple of days. If anyone hasn't seen it, give it a watch. It's just funny.
Oh, brilliant. You just couldn't write it.
No, it's very good. It's how reality TV should be done, but that's not anything to do with wrestling. This match itself was 8 years in the making, and I've watched every single second of this rivalry, all the way from the NXT Pro, which I watched, to the Talking Smack promo, now infamous Talking Smack promo, to Daniel Bryan's return, when everyone thought this is going to happen at some point. And I couldn't be happier with the way this match ended in terms of Maurice, who, by the way, I just think is brilliant in that role of being an annoying person, absolutely perfect. Passes Miz the brass knucks after what was actually quite a long match, another slow build.
Long.
And I think they can do more. I think the match probably was good and it could have been great, and I think it will be great given a bit more time.
The beginning.
I agree. So Miz on the outside, Daniel Bryan goes for the suicide dive, Miz bang right in the head with the brass knucks, gets the 3 count, and that's the win for the Miz. And they follow this on SmackDown by the Miz coming out and officially really bad acting from the Miz here, because I think it was supposed to be bad acting, but the Miz is quite good at acting, and I thought, well, at no point have I been convinced that this is happening, but he was trying to convince everyone he was retiring, and then he came out with the clever line of retiring from facing Daniel Bryan, which lasted all of about 5 minutes, because Daniel Bryan came out, and then Maurice made the mistake. It was actually, might have been the Miz, who said, you're no longer Daniel Bryan, you may as well be called Daniel Bella. Which I don't agree with, but I do not like Brie Bella that much. I mean, the Total Divas thing, I understand it has a place, but they've been showing up way too much. They were at Summerslam, they were on Raw.
And it's just the fact they've popped up a little bit unannounced as well. So there's just nothing. There's no backstory as to why are they all of a sudden popping in. You know? Do
you think this could be for the Evolution? Coming back to get ready for that. That's what we were
discussing prior. Was like, I think this is about Evolution. I think from a Raw perspective, there's not enough women to make a divide. as well. From like the amount of women that are on Raw, there's not enough women to divide that.
And they've also promised 50 women.
Yeah, and you're kind of starting to. We need to start digging some women out.
This is what worries me with this is that I've heard that it's going to be Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey, who we will get to in a moment at Evolution, which I really don't want. But anyway, so they made the mistake of saying the name Brie Bella, whose music then hit the Brie mode. She got quite a good reaction. Given that she hasn't been there for a while, that's probably understandable.
Yeah.
She hits the ring, she clears the ring with both Miz and Maurice being ejected from the ring, even though Maurice just had a baby 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So probably not really fair fight there. Poor commentary, I thought, from Byron Saxton, who said, so, Bree's had a baby. That was 2 years ago. Or nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we found out from Paige backstage later in the night that it is going to be Daniel Bryan and Brie versus The Miz and Maurice at Hell in a Cell. I'm fine with this as long as Daniel Bryan wins. That's fine. That gives them one win apiece against The Miz, and then they forget this until around the Royal Rumble. Okay. I want Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble. Oh. I want The Miz to be the WWE champion going into WrestleMania, and I want this to be the feud going into WrestleMania. Yeah. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Anything else on that one?
No, I'm happy with that.
Happy to move on. Cool. Then, this match, which I thought definitely should have been on the pre-show, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. And then all of a sudden, all through the night, they were doing these weird, like, 3D images that were all throughout the night, like they had the big Empire State Building in the ring for the SummerSlam and all this stuff, and it was just, it didn't look that great. They used it well here because you had Baron Corbin in the ring and then the demon music hits. Yeah. The crowd loses its mind and you've got this like fake 3D smoke on the ring, on the ceiling.
Oh, it's brilliant. I did go a bit mad. Yeah, I was just like, it's back!
And it was good. It was another squash match. Finn Balor beat Corbin in minutes.
Which was a shame, really, because the demon was back and the demon literally had like 5 minutes.
And we will get to Finn Balor in a moment when we get to the main event. So I will come back to Finn Balor. The main event of Raw, I mean. So they're following this. In the middle of this was Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes. Jeff Hardy, former US champion, Shinsuke had the belt. I don't think anyone thought Jeff was going to win other than you because you're such a Jeff Hardy fan.
Yeah, it's really sad.
So Jeff Hardy, good match, to be fair. It was better than I expected it to be. Jeff Hardy took a really bad bump. A swanton onto the apron. Why? He's 40 years old.
He's a legend of the making.
He just doesn't need to do it.
The thing is with Jeff at the moment, and for a little while actually watching him, is we've both been talking about it, but I've been saying, I think he's probably really injured, but there's so much storyline at the moment that he kind of needs to get to a stage where he can maybe be written off and have some time off.
Yeah, and maybe he has to do these mental things to hurt himself. Broken a rib.
Warrant to get time off. However, I'm like, is he injured or is he just so flipping good at selling these bumps? You know, you just never really know with Jeff. No. Is he owing or is he like, that hurt, man?
Yeah, or is it because he's no longer taking anything for the pain?
Oh, yeah.
So it's now
does the pain hurt?
This hurts. Why
this actually does hurt.
And then it followed on to SmackDown where they had a match with him and Randy Orton because at the pay-per-view, Randy Orton came down to the ring, got to the ring and very quickly turned back round again. He didn't give it any time for the crowd to be
And he was watching the whole time and things, wasn't he?
It's very strange. So then we had the showdown match, the blow-off match, between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. It was a very standard SmackDown match. Ended brilliantly, I thought, in terms of Jeff Hardy. How did it actually end? Was it a DQ finish? I think it was a DQ finish. With Jeff Hardy ended up absolutely destroying Randy Orton at the end. And the reason it ended was because Randy decided for some weird reason to put his finger where you should never put your finger in another man's ear. And not only his ear, in another man's earlobe. That's just, that's creepy. As someone who has stretchers...
Yes, one has stretchers here. And I can't even look at the screen because it freaks me out because he's like pulling on them as well. Yeah, it makes me retch. Sorry, everybody, I'm retching into the microphone.
And Jeff then proceeded to to finally get one back on Randy Orton. They fought all throughout the backstage. Jeff hit some chair shots on him. They fought towards the staging area, and conveniently there was a camera recorder that no one's used since 1986 that was big enough to do some damage to Randy Orton, to lay him out on a table that just happened to be placed under about a 10-foot drop for Jeff Hardy to hit a monster swanton bomb onto Randy Orton. And kind of, I'm not sure if this is the end of the feud or whether this is just evening it up.
I don't know. I think it feels like a bit of an even. I don't think we've seen the end of this yet. I think there's more to it.
Oh, maybe.
I hope so, because I don't want Jeff to go. You're not allowed to break Jeff.
No, and also it was good to see the delete chance and Jeff Hardy using the Woken gimmick as well.